Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Dota 2 commentary. This is a match between Navi and Virtus.Pro from the Raidcall Dota 2 League Season 3, and this is Game 2 of a best of 3 matchup. Navi took Game 1 in dominating fashion. I did not cast it because it was a stomp, to put it quite frankly. I think Virtus.Pro picked up some weird aura strat with the Vengeful Spirit, and Navi just steamrolled them. So, not really much to go over in that regard. But this is two of the top Eastern European teams, maybe two of the top CIS region teams, facing against each other. Virtus.Pro and Navi have been performing very, very well recently, and it's good to get a lot of momentum because Dreamhack Summer is coming up in a matter of days, and hopefully I will be able to bring you some of the casts from that. But yeah, no guarantees as always. The unfortunate thing is that I already casted this game, and let me spin you a tale of heartbreak and arduous toil. I casted this game with SK, and it was a long, very, very fun game to cast, a lot of action, but midway through it, the sound file got corrupted somehow, so it was very, very annoying. And also, it had some of the lag that was in my last videos. I think I fixed the problem, but if not, I might have to experiment with another recording source. But yeah, I already cast this game. It's still a fun game. I think it's worth casting again, but I would be doing it solo since I don't think SK wants to cast this game a second time. But anyways, Virtus.Pro banning out the Gyrocopter, recognizing that is one of Navi's favorite carries, knowing that it's Havos's trademark carry these days, and Navi going to secure themselves a Batter. Meanwhile, Virtus.Pro, we'll see what they decide to go for right here. And keep in mind, just from what we've seen this patch, supports don't really get picked in the first two picks. They get more secured in the second two picks rather than the first two picks. Both teams look to pick up some of their signature heroes or some of their heroes that are considered most powerful in this patch with these opening two picks, with Navi choosing the Baron in this situation. And we'll see what Virtus.Pro decides to respond with. Darkseer and Wisp have already been eliminated, as has Nyx and Gyrocopter, even though Nyx has faded out quite hard, but there's still a lot of really strong heroes left in the pool. Tree is an option. Tree is getting first picked and first banned these days just because he's phenomenally dominant in the early stages of the game. Makes the game miserable for whoever his opponents are. But Virtus.Pro instead going for a split push heavy lineup just with their first opening in the form of Nature's Prophet, and also securing themselves the Naga Siren. So are we getting ourselves back to the TI2 days of Naga Siren dominance? Well, that remains to be seen, but Nature's Prophet will likely be played as an off-lane hero. Naga Siren, of course, very, very strong as a tri-lane hero just because her nuke is only 10 seconds at every level. She has very, very solid base armor of 5 or 6, very solid base move speed of 320. Even though she has low damage, if she's matched up the correct support, she can do a lot of work in a tri-lane situation.
5 seconds remaining.
Navi looking to pick up one more hero before the second ban phase goes out. We'll see if they try to secure themselves a carry, or maybe secure themselves a mid for Dendy. I think they'll probably look to go for a carry for Havost here before Virtus.Pro decide to ban out any more carries that Havost might want to favor. And Dendy is known to play very, very versatile mids, and the reason why I say it's probably going to be Dendy mid, or Dendy not playing the Batter, is because he doesn't really play Batter that often from what I've seen. He likes more of the more dynamic mids rather than you jump in, lasso somebody, and then you drag him out. He likes more of the heroes that can move around the map and do a lot of action while their ultimate is even down. So heroes like Queen of Pain, Invoker, very active heroes in that regard. Those are the heroes that Dendy prefer. But Navi gonna snatch up the carry for Vos with the Spectre choice. And of course, the old school days of Spectre have sort of returned because she has been picked in very, very high regard recently. Keep in mind that the dispersion is no longer the same as it was in the old days. Now it's reflected evenly amongst everybody rather than distributing the 22% damage across everybody.
10 seconds remaining.
Instead, Spectres are more often than not go for an aggressive build, but the one weakness of Spectre, and the one thing you have to do against Spectre, is shut her down in laning, because she is probably maybe one of the worst, if not the worst, in laning carries in the game. She contributes next to nothing. Spectral Dagger costs a lot of mana, doesn't do that much damage, and isn't even that strong in terms of slowing. And it's very hard to hit multiple targets if, of course, the enemy team is aware of the dagger being casted. But Virtus.Pro banning out a couple supports in the form of Keeper Light and Chen. Interesting choice banning out the Chen. Even though it is one of Hubby's trademark heroes, maybe they fear some of the early push, and also they could just fear that hero in general, but when you pick up a Spectre and a Barrier, you're gonna be passive for a bit of the early game while Barrier farms up to his dagger, Spectre farms up to whatever she wants, whether it be phase drums or whatever. But yeah,
10 seconds. 10
not too sure if
seconds
Chen would have been the choice by Navi, but this might be a signal that the Virtus.Pro will go on the offensive and they don't want to really deal with a strong jungler force. Meanwhile, Navi ban out the Leshek as well as Visage. So both teams banning out a lot of supports, and we'll see if Virtus.Pro decide to strike with support of their own. They're going to pick up the Disruptor, an anti-Barrier measure, because Glimpse, when it's casted on Barrier, will blink out the lasso. And also, something you can do with Spectre is when you haunt in, you can just send her right back to where she was when she reality did. So that's assuming, of course, the Disruptor hasn't died by the time Haunt has ended. So that is something you can do with Disruptor, definitely.
Crystal Maiden.
And Navi gonna pick themselves up a Crystal Maiden, and this hero is very, very strong in the early stages of the game. Probably one of the best early game supports, just because she does a lot of damage, can contribute a lot in terms of AoE, and has a nice mana aura. But we'll see. I think Navi are perhaps anticipating Virtus.Pro to go on the offensive, and they want to have some sort of damage to scare them away. And even though Disruptor is not really the strongest tri-lane hero, Nagasiren is such a strong tri-lane carry that he can be probably paired with them rather successfully. And as long as the Disruptor gets maybe 1 or 2 points into Thunderstrike rather than going for Max Glimpse first, then Disruptor should have a reasonable time in the tri-lane situation. And I think Virtus.Pro is sort of forced to go on the offense because Spectre is, again, a hero you don't want to leave on your own, and Virtus.Pro don't really have any heroes that can really take down a tier 1 tower very quickly whatsoever unless they provide Nature's Prophet with the pushing power to do just that. As Virtus.Pro going to snatch up the Vengeful Spirit, and this was NS's and ars-art's signature hero back in Dota 1. Well, I guess ars-art signature hero was probably Nerubian Assassin in the old Virtus.Pro days. But Vengeful Spirit, I mean, NS was my favorite player, and is still one of my favorite players. He made it impossible jukes with Vengeful Spirits, always made it extremely clutch swaps, managed to survive from incredibly difficult scenarios, and just overall put on a really, really high display of skill. So it's going to be nice seeing a Vengeful Spirit being picked up by Virtus.Pro. We'll see who decides to play him in this game, as Vengeful Spirit is one of those heroes with an increased strength gain that she can be very tanky, and she can actually survive herself being swapped in for a moment, and then, you know, still doing a number in a team fight, maybe giving enough time of that command or to the rest of her allies that can still do quite a bit of work. Meanwhile, Navi going to snatch up the puck for Dendi, so this will be an offlane barrier being handled by Funnick. Most likely Dendi is going to be playing the puck, and you can see the new puck model looks kind of freaky, not going to lie. It's staring into my soul. I mean, look at that sinister motherfucker. God, that is one creepy bastard. But anyway, puck, barrier, Navi has a really, really strong form initiation, and they're going to need to have that because Nagasiren just annoys initiators to no end. And in terms of Nagasiren lineup, this isn't really the trademark Nagasiren lineup you want to have. They don't have anything like a Darkseer. This more just seems like a hero that Virtus.Pro likes to play, and a pretty strong tri-lane that can deal with Spectre. As Navi going to battle the Pugna, interesting choice. Maybe they are getting a really heavy caster with their last choice. Probably had Lina with their last pick as a support. But Virtus.Pro going to snatch up the TA to go against Puck in the middle lane. But Virtus.Pro, since Puck is always pulled by Puppy, a lot of regeneration, Templar Assassin will have a bit more difficult time than she usually does up against a Puck, because TA does usually do very well against a Puck, but still, with the extra regen that Puck is most likely being pulled, it's going to be a difficult matchup. And this is Dendi's Puck, one of the best Pucks in the world, as there is the Lina choice by Navi. Pretty evident after the Pugna ban that Virtus.Pro would go for this, or that Navi would go for this, but still, a nice support. We have the double sister action gonna reign supreme all over Virtus.Pro. A lot of damage being pumped out from both of these supports. The aura helping out everybody on side Navi, and of course Lina providing adequate harassment means that Virtus.Pro, even though they have a Tron that can do reasonable against Spectre, the two supports on side Navi can do enough to drive away Vengeful Spirit and Naga. Keep in mind, Vengeful Spirit doesn't really have long range, and Nagasiren, of course, is a melee hero. But yeah, it's gonna most likely be an aggressive challenge being pumped in by Virtus.Pro. It's probably gonna be an offlane or a safe lane Nature's Prophet facing an offlane Barrier. And in that matchup, I usually favor the Barrier in most situations, but Nature's Prophet, if he harasses quite heavily with the Treants, if he gets a couple clarities at the beginning, he can use the Treants to really keep Barrier low and really prevent him from diving in. So I'll introduce the players while I fast forward through this pause because this is a rather long game and I have already casted it once. Oh man, they're going right into it. So introducing the players and the teams, we're going to have Puppy playing the Crystal Minion, Avosa is going to be playing Spectre, Dendy is playing the Puck, Hiroki is playing the Lina, and Phonic is going to be playing that Batter. And you can see, as always, Dendy is being pulled a couple sets of regeneration by Puppy. Meanwhile, side of Virtus.Pro, we're going to have NS playing the Disruptor, Illidan, aka Airman, is playing the Naga Siren, KSI is playing the Nature's Prophet, Tim Wild, aka Crazy, is going to be playing that Templar Assassin, and Vengeful Spirit is going to be handled by ars-art. You can see Navi recognizing that there's a couple sources of minus armor in the form of Vengeful Spirit and the Naga Siren, as well as some tanking measures with the Treants. Immediately going to scout Roshan, but Virtus.Pro clearly have no intentions of going for that. And right now, both teams strutting it out, just marking their territory, so to speak, on the map, saying this is our map. And right now, Navi's doing a nice job. If Virtus.Pro want to plant some aggressive wards, they are going to be thwarted in that endeavor. And you can see Virtus.Pro, since they went so aggressively, they are going to do an aggressive trialing. So right now, nice move by Navi, preventing Virtus.Pro from placing those aggressive observer wards. But still, Spectre, I don't anticipate her having too much fun on the bottom lane. Keep in mind, Puppy, since he pulled Dendy so much, he won't have as much regeneration to grant to the Spectre, as ars-art taking a bit of harassment, but nothing he can't really survive for the moment.
Cut to the quick.
Meow. Naga Siren picks up a haste rune, and with the low cooldown on Riptide, he could potentially get a couple Riptides as he's rushing in, trying to spot out Puppy. He will get one Riptide off, but recognizing that his allies are not there to support him, he's going to back up appropriately. And Illidan will just head right back to the bottom lane to try to handle himself. Keep in mind, in terms of damage, Naga Siren with that minus 12 base damage nerf after the TI 2 days really hurt her, but Spectre doesn't really have much respectable damage whatsoever either. So this trial, it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, the two supports on Navi want to get some experience, but they have a lot of burst potential and have a lot of harassment potential. But right now, Virtus.Pro's positioning is just really remarkable, and I can't really see Avos picking up that much CS at this moment, since Crystal Main is sort of cut out from the rest of her team. And Naga Siren, with her 6 armor as well as her high blaze moon speed, should be able to handle a lot of the harassment. You can see she has a poor man shield and got pulled a set of tangos as well. So Naga Siren should be able to outperform the Spectre in this bottom lane. But still, this is Spectre. You can only keep her down for so long. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, Dendy so far taking it to Crazy, using ample usage of that extra regeneration, just constantly auto-attacking rather than going for a lot of CS. And even then, Dendy with 4 CS as well as 4 denies, handling Tame Wild right now in this middle lane matchup. And you can see Templar Assassin did go for the ball rush as the orb is going to fly in, just constantly annoying Tame Wild, but it looks like he's finally been able to pick up some form of CS. But still, Dendy should have a handle on this matchup for the most part, just because of this extra regeneration and the fact that even though the ball is coming in from the TA, Dendy with his last hits is just going to have a bit of an experience advantage. You can see is already half a level ahead of the Templar Assassin. And because he has an AoE creep clearing new kill, he should have better rune control, although with Virtus.Pro running an aggressive child, their supports are much able, or are free to roam in and contest the bottom rune a bit more than Navi supports. Now on the top lane, KSI actually doing a remarkable job against Phonic for the most part. Phonic looks like he's using a bottle to get himself back. I don't know how much Phonic will utilize the bottle. Maybe he's going to let Dendy try to take the majority of the runes and then Bottle Crow with his offlane Barretter, but still, it's a much longer distance for the courier to travel, and you can see Navi not bothering to upgrade the courier just yet. I guess they want to get a couple more items on his support so he can survive the trial lane. But KSI with the Treants really annoying Phonic, preventing him from diving in too much, and you can see KSI already with a magic stick playing this lane remarkably well. So nice job by Virtus.Pro on this top lane, but still, it's always a tricky matchup. One false misstep by the Nature's Prophet could prove the end of his life. And right now he's running along on mana, but he has 2 clarities, and with these extra treants, he's really annoying Phonic to no end, forcing him to pop a Firefly just to mitigate a lot of the treant harassment, but he's not going to pick up too much gold, and he's only going to get maybe like 100 experience from killing those treants, but he does manage to cancel the clarity at the very least. Back to the bottom lane, where the most action should probably happen, and as I said that, even though KSI is doing a nice job, Phonic does have a 11 CS advantage over him, just because, I mean, Barretter can just clear creeps a lot more easily. He doesn't have to rely solely on physical damage. He can use Firefly, he can use napalm stacks give him extra damage, and overall amplify his CS.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
But meanwhile, just checking out the mid lane once again, looks like Temwad once again taking a lot of damage, actually running a bit low, but so far has managed to recover somewhat in terms of the laning stage. You can see he's jumped up in terms of CS by a decent amount, but actually Dendy taking it right to crazy. One more hit could prove the end of Puck, but no. Puck actually turns on, comes with an orb, and finishes off crazy with the ball coming in. I think Templar Assassin was calculating the mana, but actually was not able to anticipate Dendy being delivered the ball right then and there. And if that was the case, that's really unfortunate for Crazy in that situation. But meanwhile, on the bottom lane, looks like Puppy gonna get a haste rune, gonna spot out NS on the Disruptor. Here comes Spectre coming in, as they will be able to pick up Disruptor. Nice 3-man Riptide by Airman, but no follow-up damage as Vengeful Spirit stun is on cooldown. And right now the net is going to fly, and Vengeful Spirit has such a low cooldown, such a low mana cost. You can use it multiple times, as Kuroki does with the stun, a bit unfortunate, as Nagasiren does pick up the kill. Here comes the teleport in by KSI, looking to pick off Kuroki, and Nagasiren should have enough mana. Nice treant block by KSI, remarkable recognition. He realized that if he trapped Luna in the trees, she could potentially tangle out and just leave no path for his supporters to pursue, or the Nagasiren to pursue, but instead he blocked off Luna's path, so even if she cut through the trees, she would just be trapped in the sprouts. So really remarkable play by KSI. Beautiful recognition, and oh my god, the disrespectful glimpse saying, "Get the fuck out of here, Vavost." And that is going to be really annoying. That's going to make Spectre waste 20-30 seconds walking all the way back to the bottom lane. It's not all bad for Navi, because the supports on Navi could definitely use experience, but still, Spectre is not receiving any farm whatsoever while doing this. So overall, I think Virtus.Pro are doing very well in this bottom lane, but KSI teleporting in definitely helped out, and that gave Bauer even more room to farm up. And we're going to look to see, he's not at level 6, so he probably won't go for a kill, but once Bauer does hit level 6, look to see a kill happen on this top lane. As, I mean, there's really not too much Nature's Buff can do once Bauer does hit level 6. There's a Flame Break, there's going to be a couple Napalm stacks, and the Flame Lasso just to drag him very far away. You know, Tamal just not having a good time whatsoever. Boots, as well as a couple Ironwood branches, but me on the bottom lane, Kuroki gets trapped by the nets. Vengeful Spirit stun does manage to land, and Thunder Strike once again showing its buff. Gonna do a lot of damage. Here goes back onto Avost, but actually Avost's gonna tunnel his way through the trees, gonna pop a salve all the while, but now he's cut off from the rest of his team, so he could be in a bit of trouble, but we are gonna see rotation. You can see on the map, Tamwild is there on the rotation. Vengeful Spirit looking for stun, does get a stun. The trap isn't used as well, and here comes Crazy with a nice kill pickup, as well as getting the Illusion Rune. Double whammy for the Templar Assassin on that middle lane. And right now Spectre is suffering very a lot. I was gonna use some improper luminous English, but I just decided to make better word usage. God, my words are hard, guys. English is a hard language. But still, nice rotation. Havos dying for a second time, and the fact that Crazy did pick up a kill means that his mid lane is going to be helped out a bit. And not only did he get the kill, he also got rune control. But you can see he's just going to bottle up, going to use the Bottle Crow, and always using his speed boost when the courier has the empty bottle rather than when it has a full bottle. But me on the top lane, Funnick just going to burn on a bunch of trees, causing mass forest fires as he's going to go in for KSI. Does get the last one. Here comes Most in with the rotation as Navi actually rotated to the top lane. One more hit. Could finish off Funnick, but no. Nice Light Strike array by Kuroki. Does help to secure the kill. Kill secured, says Kuroki. And that was definitely necessary. One more hit could have spelled the end of Funnick. So really nice job by Kuroki. Nice rotation by Navi. And this is going to play... this is going to be a bit annoying for Virtus.Pro because now Nature's probably really can't stop Spectre's farm, but are they going to be willing to rotate all of their challenges to stop the Spectre? I'm not too sure. And instead Virtus.Pro might look to go for a gank. You can see NS charging very far ahead of his team. Going to place an extremely aggressive Observer Ward so he can glimpse back any supporting TPs as well as may glimpse back any retreating people, as he might look to go on the Crystal Main. What level is NS? Level 4. And you can see he got an extra point to Thunder Strike rather than getting the max glimpse first, just because he wanted to have that extra bit of damage in the Triumph. But you can see a gank is coming in for Tim. Dreamhack is going to be used on the middle lane. Here comes Kuroki on the assault. Silence goes down onto the Templar Assassin, and she will eventually get burned to death. Lena, as well as Barrett, are helping to secure the kill. Dendy going to have a nice time in the middle lane thus far. Really getting good control over this game. and look to Dendi to have a very, very significant impact once he picks up a fast Blink Dagger, but it looks like he is going to go for the standard treads into Blink Dagger rather than going for the Blink Dagger rush. As meanwhile, Puppey caught out of position, ars-art took the long way around town as Nature's Prophet does come in with the Wrath of Nature to secure the kill. So Virtus.Pro, not only did they get a tower, they got another kill, and that means Illidan gonna get a lot of experience. He went for phase boots again. Interesting boost choice, as in this game he doesn't really need to use it to escape. Usually treads or arcane boots in terms of spamming mana would be a lot more useful, but Song of Siren will be used. Looks like Virtus.Pro caught without teleports for the most part. Only NS does have that TP, as NS won't get flame breaked out. Phonic, that Visioner, definitely didn't help him, but Dendi's invisible. He might be chasing to secure himself a kill, as ars-art does not have a TP, has the boot speed, and as long as he continues north to his tower, he should be okay. But Barrett does disconnect, and Dendi just gonna wait in the wings. He knows Song is on cooldown, but still, he does want to get at least one kill, and if Vengeful Spirit is silenced, she won't be able to do that much, and unfortunately for her, she's on intelligence treads rather than getting to strength treads, so she could be in a lot of trouble. But overall, in terms of the game, Virtus.Pro picking off 2 towers relatively quickly, as all the while when the bottom lane engagement was happening, Nature's Prophet actually teleported to the middle lane to help secure the tower. So good job by KSI getting another tower for Virtus.Pro. Actually, it looks like it was denied by Lino, so a bit unfortunate for Virtus.Pro in that regard. Havos desperately trying to find some form of farm, as Spectre is a hero who does need levels as well as farm in order to really be the monster that she is in the late game. She wants to have those drums as well as phase so she can do a lot of the mid game in terms of ganks, or she wants to go for all the late game, she wants the Radiance farm, but I don't think Havos will likely go for Radiance in this game. It could be an option up against the Templar Assassin, and as well as all the squishy heroes on the side of Virtus.Pro, but still, the fact that Havos has just been kept down so hard means that he probably won't go for a straight up Radiance rush. Templar Assassin should escape, has 7 sticks charges, and Kuroki doesn't really have enough mana to follow up. She has 7 stick charges as well, but still not enough damage to burst down this TA, and right now I'm just going to fast forward through the majority of this pause. But still, like I mentioned, interesting boots choice by Illidan. Wants the extra bit of mobility from the phase boots, but still, I don't know how much that will help against phase boot, or against Puck, against Barrett, against Spectre, who can constantly chase you, as some Russian speak is going down in all chat. In the last game that SK and I casted, the phase boots on Illidan were very important because they're facing an almost all melee lineup. But in this game, phase boots might not be the best choice. I think I would have preferred treads for a bit more mana spam, or a bit more mana to work around with the Riptide if you tread switch, and also the bit of extra HP against Puck, against Barrett could be very, very useful, as 1 or 2 minutes is the call. Meanwhile, Dendi, his CS has been limited somewhat because he's looking to gank a lot, but he is going to have those treads up relatively soon, and once he gets those, he will go straight for that dagger. And once he gets the dagger, it's just going to be very, very annoying for Virtus.Pro to deal with, because even though initiating into a Song of Siren is just going to be annoying as heck, now we have a couple sources to do just that, and they have a lot of chasing to sort of hunt down Virtus.Pro after the sleep does end, as Barrett does finally reconnect. And Barrett looks like he's about 1,370 gold away from finishing his own dagger. I think he'll probably look to finish that straight up rather than going for a wand or anything like that, and he'll probably take his chance to the jungle. But he does have a lasso up, so he could potentially go for a gank before he retreats back to the jungle. Oh no, ars-art, say it ain't so Phonic. He's coming in, Dendi with the Puck block. Gonna delay the assault for a bit, gonna go in on ars-art. Does use the Dreamhack. Flame Break will be used as well, and the Flame Break will push Vengeful Spirit back towards her death. So, they were forced to use 1 ultimate at the very least, but still, they got a kill on an unattended ars-art, and Dreamhack has such a low cooldown that it can be used in a lot of upcoming engagements, and at least they didn't burn the lasso. Both heroes on the map. Gonna hunt for that rune on the bottom lane. Unfortunately for them, it spawns on the top lane as NS, oh no, Funnick with that flying mission gonna catch out NS as the Flamer beautifully positioned, gonna push NS back, gets one napalm stack, and NS, look at what he's doing. He's not turning around. He knows the turn rate will be too slow to cast a glimpse. Instead, he's just running as fast as possible, and will be able to escape. If he managed to turn around, he could have been in a lot of trouble, but still, Illidan caught out in the middle of no man's land. Kroki caught in a kinetic field, does manage to get a beautiful light strike array on two heroes. Kroki will get picked up, but Vost is here. Vost wants blood, wants vengeance for the suffering he endured on the bottom lane, and Navi taking this team fight in stride. Getting 2 additional kills, only sacrificing Lena, but really, really well-placed stun by Kroki, getting a double stun. And they killed off the Naga Siren as well as the Nature's Prophet, and I think Naga Siren actually bought back, so that's actually going to hurt your gold intake quite a bit. And a lot of that early tower gold that was going to the Naga Siren was just mitigated on the back of the buyback. So if she dies again, that could really keep her back, as she is looking to go for the phase drum to be able to give her team as much mobility as possible, as well as give herself as much mobility as possible.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
You know, Spectre still suffering a bit in terms of farm, but still been able to recover somewhat in this game, actually maxing Dagger rather than maxing Desolate. I like this choice because of the extra move speed, and the extra damage is going to be very useful, and Spectre is just going to farm up rather than going for a lot of early game ganks. He has a lot of allies that can do a lot in the early stages of the game, so Vost isn't really pressured to do as much as other Spectre teams. Well, I guess that was sort of a sense fragment. Vost isn't really pressured to do as much damage as other Spectres are required to do in their teams on the back of Desolate and all those other spells. Meanwhile, KSI still yet to finish his Midas as he went for the phase boots himself, so interesting choice going for the phase boots. Usually Nature's Prophet do like to go for treads or phase, but I think treads would be potentially useful if Nature's Prophet want to scale a bit more towards late game, but I guess in this game he just wants to have the mobility to outrun a Barret or Sticky Napalm as well as a Puck, but still it's going to be just so annoying to escape from those heroes that I'm not too sure phase boots is ultimately worth it. And Vengeful Spirit, of course, went for the treads. Did not want to join the exclusive club of phase boots goers on the side of Virtus.Pro. He was not invited to the phase party. And everybody knows the phase party is the best party. But still, it makes sense on Vengeful Spirit because she actually does a reasonable amount of physical damage in the late game and wants that extra bit of attack speed just to go in. And you can see Vengeful Spirit actually getting a lot more attention than Disruptor, who is yet to level 6. And I think that silence is going to be really, really important for NS to pick up. Because once Barret or Puck blinks in, you really don't have the silence just to annoy Barret to no end and really prevent Puck from blinking in while the duration of the silence is going in. Otherwise Puck will just be immediately silenced. So it's actually really important that NS does pick up that Static Storm very, very soon, because Puck is getting dangerously close to his dagger. You can see he's only 300 gold away. And if Disruptor is caught without a Static Storm at that point, it could just be a real disaster for Virtus.Pro. But still, they managed to pick off the top tier 1 tower as well as defending their tier 1 middle. And we're going to see KSI rotate to the Ancients in kind. And actually Dendi, looks like he picked up the magic one or picked up a teleport scroll. Used a bit of gold, but is going to pick up a lot of his gold right here, right now. Funnick actually going to pick up his dagger to similar timing, so this is going to give Navi so many forms of initiation now that Virtus.Pro going to have to be very careful. And Navi placing very defensive wards. They know Virtus.Pro has pushed down a lot of their towers very early on, and they do have the capability to go into Navi's jungle and look for team fights, but with this dagger being picked up on Puck, it's just going to make that so much more difficult. You know, NS still not level 6. I'd really like him to get level 6 very, very soon. And, uh-oh, Dendi doesn't have the dagger, so he's not going to go in on NS just yet. But if he did, NS probably would have been in a lot of trouble. One more creep will be that level 6 at the very least, so he will have that ultimate online. But still, NS really going to be suffering in terms of farm, and actually just barely managed to hit that level 6, does get the Static Storm. So at the very least, he can pop the Static Storm preemptively before Puck does blink in. But I mean, if Puck blinks in with silence, then it's really tough for Disruptor to actually react to that. But it's more important when Barret blinks in, because then you can pop the Static Storm and really prevent any follow-up from the Puck. Assuming, of course, that his team's together. You're not really going to use the Static Storm on just one person. It looks like Virtus.Pro very content to farm up for a bit as they're going to pop a Smoker to see. They have the slight gold advantage, but experience advantage is in favor of Navi. And that late hand of Midas by Nature's Prophet didn't really help matters, as Templar Assassin actually went for the drums. Naga Siren not finishing her drums just yet. I'm not too sure what she's saving up for. Could be for a Diffusal Blade, could be for a Yasha, could be for the drums herself, but Virtus.Pro gonna smoke up. They're gonna spot out Funnick. Naga gonna wave her arms, but that casting point is so long, 0.45 seconds. Just means that Funnick was able to, you know, have a nice casual conversation for the Naga Siren before she actually got to swing her arms casting that, and then he just casually blinked on out of there. So good reactions by Funnick on that bottom lane, disrupting the smoke gank, but we'll see if Virtus.Pro are going to be able to defend the middle tower. They are going to teleport in NS, but you're just going to have to be careful. Virtus.Pro are fully aware that Navi heroes have daggers. Dendi has revealed that fact very, very evidently, and Navi looking to secure themselves a bit more map control. Gonna clean up the spawn tower, and all the while Airman actually taking it to Havost on the bottom lane. Looks like he's just trying to annoy Havost to no end. You can see in terms of farm, Havost is suffering quite a bit. 65 CS, pretty respectable, but I mean, Spectre obviously wants to be more farmed. This Funnick gonna blink out once again, and as only being over 6, only getting 2 points in the glimpse, as I think he is going back into the max glimpse build. It means that he doesn't have that additional range to suck Funnick right back into his awaiting arms. It means that they will not be together forever. So sad. Meanwhile, the middle tower is not in deny range, and Avost is going to receive a world of farm up on this top lane. And it looks like Avost going for a very, very odd Avost Spectre build, but this is something that he does by himself. He rushes Blade Mail. So this does give a lot of damage reflection, because I don't think he maxed the dispersion first, and also he wants to be as tanky as possible. As Funnick gonna be in a lot of trouble. Here comes the Thunderstrike, gonna cancel the dagger as there is Mini Glimpse sucking him right back into Stack Storm. Funnick gonna take a world of hurt, but here comes the Haunt as Barrett immediately buys back. Denny comes in with a huge Dreamhack Silence, gonna immediately pick up 1 kill on Ennis. Illidan just being silenced for the full duration, can't get off the Song of the Siren. Crystal Main popping her ultimate, dancing all over the Venture Spirit's face as Tamar Wild comes in trying to help out his allies, but unfortunately he's going to get grabbed and he is going to get burned to a crisp by the Bat Rider as well as the Crystal Main. Actually, Crystal Main with that nice bit of freezing damage managed to carry the kill, so Bat Rider, that buyback is probably worth it. He wasn't close to any big items, and Denny just got an immense dream call. Havost, of course, hunting in, getting a lot of experience, really helped out his gold intake by a decent amount, and he's going to be well on his way towards finishing that Blade Mail. And suddenly Virtus.Pro, a lot of their momentum has stalled. They're going to be definitely behind in terms of experience by quite a bit. Only KSI was not there for the engage, and he's going to go back into split pushing oriented Shadow Blade. But it's going to be very difficult for Nature's Prophet actually get his trademark of split pushing going if Barry picks up a gem or if Puck picks up a gem, because they can just constantly keep up with the Nature's Prophet wherever he goes around the map, because those heroes are just incredibly mobile. Havost once again being hunted down, gonna juke in towards the trees. That Terror not gonna scout him out as Navi gonna look to reclaim their own jungle. Virtus.Pro constantly in Navi's jungle trying to deny Navi as much safe experience as possible. I don't know if this is the right move, but it's definitely an interesting choice that Virtus.Pro are doing. They're just really keeping Navi worried, but unfortunately they're not really getting out too much outside the neutral creeps. We'll see if this comes back to haunt Virtus.Pro a little bit, but so far they are restricting a lot of Navi's potential gold intake. You can see Navi definitely a bit scared to go in Virtus.Pro's jungle, and that is allowing Templar Assassin to farm up neutrals, and meanwhile Virtus.Pro just going to deny Navi a lot in terms of the bottom lane jungle. And Nature's Prophet, of course, can take advantage of whatever farm
bottom tower is under attack
by just split pushing wherever he wants, but oh no, the Smoker Deceit is going to be used, and KSI could be in a lot of trouble. They are going to pop a Frost Nova as, oh, KSI? I don't think he spied him out, as the ward is going to spot out KSI. The Dream Coil actually whiffs. Oh man, a bit unfortunate by Dendi, as the Sentry Ward was used to kill off KSI, but just a bit of miscommunication by Navi. Very, very uncharacteristic, but still, that momentary lapse in judgment allowed KSI to go in, and Virtus.Pro going to use his advantage, recognizing the Dream Coil is down, going to go for Roshan, and they have so much minus armor that they can make short work of this beast. I expect this Aegis to go to crazy just so he can do as much damage as possible, but Crazy hasn't really had a good game. 2-3 with only 85 CS, gonna go into a BKB rather than going for a lot of damage. And actually he's gonna leave the Aegis on the ground for Illidan to pick up. Interesting choice. He sails the Poor Man's Shield to get the Aegis. Usually want it to have on hero who can have the most offensive potential in the mid game, like a Templar Assassin. But maybe they think Templar Assassin is tanky enough that she can survive out of the barrage. Maybe they think Nagasarn actually does more damage at this stage, as she is saving up a lot of gold. And Na'Vi, once again, being restricted to a very, very small portion of the map. Even though they did manage to get a nice smoke attempt into the enemy's jungle, you can see they're not really comfortable farming so close to Virtus.Pro. So Virtus.Pro reclaiming a nice bit of experience, and they're just going to poke and prod this tower. So even though they're behind in terms of kills, the map control just shows what Virtus.Pro's game plan is. They have wards all over the map, they're denying Na'Vi's neutrals, and overall, this will allow them to catch up in terms of experience. But Vos going to push the top tower, and this is what Spectre does better than any other carry. Looks like this tower won't get defended as Glyph not even used, and Vos does want to use the Haunt. You could potentially go to Dak to try to pick it up, but actually Glyph goes down onto Vos. Going to reflect a lot of damage with this Blade Mail, but a Templar Assassin does pick up the kill in the end. So a tower in exchange for a Spectre kill. I don't know if that was worth it, considering Spectre has been kept down pretty hard regardless. But Virtus.Pro didn't have a glyph, so I guess they didn't really have a choice in the end. Maybe if they were a bit faster on the TPs, they could have prevented the death of the tower. But I don't know if they want to teleport out in front of Na'Vi so eagerly, as Virtus.Pro looking to reclaim some of the jungle, gonna go in. I don't know if this is the best move. This is so dangerous, as Orb gonna find Swap, gonna go down. Riptide will hit right on Floodec, and they are gonna be able to clean up the kill very, very easily. ars-art does secure the kill, and Virtus.Pro saying, no, these are our jungles. You will not have them. And you can see the gold graph starting to spike back in favor of the dire experience graph, spiking less and less in favor of the Radiant, just because of this really, really nice map control that Virtus.Pro has been applying. Puppey going for a couple of bracers, and that's going to be pretty annoying because Crystal Main's ultimate does a lot of damage. It has the potential to do up to 21,000 damage, because I think it's something like 30 explosions per second, something like that. I can't even calculate it, but yeah, it's a lot of explosions over an immense amount of time. The only problem is that it's not reliable, but still, if she's tanky enough, and if Virtus.Pro don't focus the sails on her properly, she could potentially get shut down, or she could potentially get out a lot of DPS. Looks like Virtus.Pro gonna concoct a push on the bottom lane, as the courier is gonna deliver an item to ars-art. It's gonna be an Ogre Club, so I don't know if this is for a BKB or an Agnum Scepter. Agnum Scepter and Vengeful Spirit, you know, it's really, really cool to have a 12-second swap, but the problem with the Vengeful Spirit is that she'll probably die. But with the increased strength with the Vengeful Spirit, she could potentially get off 2 swaps in an engagement. So Agnum Scepter might not be the worst choice, but if this is DPS Vengeful Spirit, BKB will be the most likely option. As Virtus.Pro gonna claim yet another tower, and Avos is just farming up all the while. Gonna go into most likely a Diffusal Blade, probably a Yasha to get the increased movement speed, but yeah, actually I haven't seen too many Spectres go back into Diffusal Blade these days. I think they're more keen to go Yasha to get as much movement speed as possible and just chase relentlessly. You know, Templar Assassin gonna pick up that BKB relatively soon, as KSI with the Shadow Blade. We'll see what he goes for, whether it be an Orchid or a Hex. At this stage of the game, it would probably be more prudent to go for a Hex, especially against Spectre, a hero who doesn't like to go into BKB, as Smoker to See is going to be used, and ars-art could be out of position, but no, they're going to spy KSI, as the lasso is going to be spent. Here comes the Haunt. They're going to spot out ars-art next, but the Song of Siren is utilized. A buyback is going to be used by Nature's Prophet, and it looks like Virtus.Pro want to take this fight. NS is going to be killed off by Havos. Illidan going to get zapped. The Aegis has been used, as ars-art going to be caught in the coil, as was KSI. KSI, if he dies here, the Centaur going to constantly spawn him out. Puppey will pick up the kill on the back of the freezing field, and this engagement going disastrously for Virtus.Pro. Looks like Kuroki going to be immediately melted. He did have a Ghost Scepter, but here comes Templar Assassin on the chase, going to get a slow off onto Puppey, and Puppey will most likely die. And Templar Assassin picks up a triple kill in the end, so it's difficult to say who won the engagement in the end. I think all things considered, considering Nature's Prophet bought back, died, and bought back again, that really didn't help Virtus.Pro, but the fact that Templar Assassin, who's been struggling in this game, and who didn't actually use the BKB, picked up a triple kill, and the fact that Havos died means that I don't know, it might be slightly in favor of Virtus.Pro, but then again, Naga lost the Aegis. I think in the end it was slightly in favor of Virtus.Pro, because Nature's Prophet can always recover, but giving a triple kill to Templar Assassin when she was hurt by such an immense amount and losing the courier is not going to really help Navi. So Navi might actually regret their foray into the enemy jungle, but they're not going to lose additional map control because of that small mistake. Meanwhile, Dendi 5-0-7 really playing remarkably well, but unfortunately Virtus.Pro just playing a little bit better at this point, executing their gameplay a bit more soundly. And KSI, in the end, you can see he's only lost about 1k gold, so we'll see if he goes back into the X as Virtus.Pro actually looking to push the issue, looking to get engagement on Havos, recognizing that he doesn't have Haunt, knowing that it's a lot easier to kill him, will perhaps go in. And here comes the net onto Havos. He's going to be trapped, going to pop the Blade Mail, so the Stack Storm actually bringing NS down to below half HP. But Illidan will get snagged in the retreat. Is there enough damage on the Sanami to help Illidan escape? Glimpse will send Batter right back, and looks like Illidan actually does not have a TP scroll. He's going to have to go right back in. Funnick will get picked off as Mega Kill streak is picked up on the Templar Assassin, and Virtus.Pro have finally evened up the kill count. And Illidan used a Purge charge to help secure the kill on Vos, and actually Virtus.Pro gonna look to push the base so very early on. Dendy's still alive, he has all of his spells, and Spectre is gonna respawn relatively quickly. Virtus.Pro, maybe they're just trying to force out the glyph. They're gonna swap in Kuroki. Kuroki pops the Ghost Scepter, but it's gonna be immediately purged by the Naga side. Here comes the orb flying back in by Dendy. The Dreamhack gonna catch NS as well as KSI. The glyph not being used yet by Navi. I think Virtus.Pro should back off now because Spectre is going to be haunting in relatively soon, and Illidan just going to pop the urn. But no, Virtus.Pro going to go in, will secure the tier 3, but they are going to cost, it's going to cost them an NS, and here comes Spectre on the assault. The Magic Missile will stun Denny in place. They are going to kill off Denny, going to get themselves a nice streak. Nature's Prophet did pick it up, but Havos going to pick up a double kill, and actually, will Puppy die? One more hit will be the end of him, but actually, oh my god, 0.1 seconds left on that TP score, but Lasso going to come in, means that Templar Assassin will die as well. If Vos picks up this kill, this will be a huge win for Navi. He picks up a triple kill and an unstoppable streak at the same time. And all of a sudden he has 2100 gold. And he's level 18. Oh my god, a complete team up. What a disaster for Virtus.Pro. They should have realized that Spectre is respawning so soon. And this is going to be ridiculously unfortunate for Virtus.Pro. Oh my god. They should have recognized they just got a bit too greedy. Their eyes are bigger than their stomach. And they got punished for it. And now I think they're going to be forced to give up a lot of their jungle control. Just because Spectre's so high leveled at this point. And even though Dendy died, gave up a pretty big streak to KSI. KSI died once again. Spectre got a nice streak off the Templar Assassin's head. And Virtus.Pro, they're gonna definitely be regretting this decision to push in so recklessly. They got the tier 3, but at what cost? I don't think the cost was worth it in the end. As the Dagger actually gonna spot out NS. Oh no, NS gonna be forced to pop the Stag Storm. Looks like he's not gonna bother to glimpses. Here comes KSI, but Havos just gonna phase through the trees, does pick up an easy kill, and gonna just teleport himself out of there. Illidan does pick off Puppy, but one ill-advised engagement being concocted by NS. Uncharacteristic to say the least, as Illidan gonna get zapped by Lina. The Ghost Scepter gonna be used as well, as Illidan is gonna be forced to pop Songwriter Siren. Trap is gonna be there. As Virtus.Pro, you see that they desperately want to secure control of Navi's jungle yet again. But here comes Denny, he has the Quill online, not going to use it. The Flame Break will be used to clean up the Naga sign. Dreamhack going to hold ars-art as well as KSI in play. Here comes the Templar Assassin looking to secure a kill on Funnick. The BKB is going to use Funnick being trapped between a Templar Assassin in a hard place, but Vet Spirit will die. Havos gonna once again pick up so much experience in Templar Assassin. She might very well die once again, and Virtus.Pro's control over Navi's jungle has evaporated. And look at Havos, despite being slowed by the trap, still has ridiculous moon speed. With the drum charge, actually has max moon speed, or close to it. And Templar Assassin just juking as long as possible, will be able to escape. Actually, you're gonna pop a trap. But still, that did cost Virtus.Pro very dearly. Havos been able to pick up a level 20 on a Spectre who's kept down so relentlessly. They are gonna suck him back in the glimpse, but they don't yet have the Static Storm. Oh my god, and now NS could be in for another flash of pain. One more kill being picked up before Havos, and now Templar Assassin gonna be in a lot of danger. His refraction is draining immensely. He will die. Havos is gonna be on trouble. He's gonna get named, but he's gonna teleport out immediately. What a play. Nicely done by Havos. They're gonna kill off Crystal Main instead. But they wanted the Spectre. They didn't get the Spectre. And this is looking suddenly very grim for the side of Virtus.Pro. And Havos has a whole lot of money, honey. Wow, I'll never say that again. Virtus.Pro suddenly losing so much of their momentum. Gonna go in for Roshan. They have Medallion. They have a lot of minus armor. I don't think Navi can contest this, because they don't have the Haunt, and they're not really in position to contest this, and Roshan will just die too damn quickly. But you can see these multiple deaths really hurting the Naga Siren. Picked up a Viv booster, trying to go for the heart, but that's not going to help her. NS playing a bit uncharacteristically, making a couple mistakes here and there, and it ends up costing Virtus.Pro quite a bit. Naga Siren once again picks up the Aegis, as a Templar Assassin was dead. We'll see what Templar Assassin decides to go for, whether it be a critical strike, a Crystallis, or may go for a Manta style. I think Moon Speed up against this lineup, it's going to be useful, but this lineup can chase you down regardless. I think you want to have as much damage as possible up against Spectre. So I'd advocate going for the Crystallis, but still, it's anybody's call. And Havos actually going to go in for the Reigns, picked up the Sacred Relic. So the fact of the matter is that since he got so much gold from these kills, means that he's going to actually pick up a reasonable timing on the Reigns, as well as having a Yasha, Phase, Drums, Blade Mail. This is not too bad of a recent timing at all. And Virtus.Pro, they're tanky, but still, the Reigns in conjunction with Desolate means that those Haunt Illusions, if they strike once every second, they're going to do a minimum of 115 damage per second. Pretty ridiculous, if, of course, the Desolate proc does manage to hit. Virtus.Pro once again going into Navi's jungle, a reoccurring theme, as Nature's Prophet has been shut down by quite a bit. And again, his split pushing potential is going to be very limited up against a Puck, a Batrider, and all those other really mobile heroes. We'll see if anybody on, Navi, Dendi actually picks up a gem. So now it's going to be really difficult for KSI to actually split push around the map. There's Silence, there's Dreamhack, there's stalled long enough for Barrett to approach. Barrett with the 4-staff. We'll see what he decides to go for. It looks like he's saving a lot of gold, and he has an unupgraded boot, so it is going to be a boots of travel choice for Funix. So now it's going to be extraordinarily difficult for KSI to actually concoct the split push. NS is going to do some counter warding, trying to finish up towards Mechanism. Still needs the headdress. At this rate, it'll be like a 50-minute Mechanism. As Dendi once again gets a clutch silence as well as a dream call. Templar Assassin forced to pop the BKB. And looks like Virtus.Pro going to stick around. They use the sleep, but they're not running away fast enough. The BKB has been expended. They should look to get the heck out of there. Disruptor is going to be picked off. They don't have the Stack Storm in there. And looks like Tamarod going to take so much damage. He's just going to get zapped into oblivion. Bit of a miscommunication by Virtus.Pro, and Illidan will get hunted down. The Aegis is going to get killed off. And Illidan will die again. Does not have the Song of Siren to get him out of trouble. And there's just going to be way too much damage being pumped out by Navi that Illidan can potentially escape. Spectre picks up a wicked 6 streak. And Virtus.Pro's game plan, so carefully concocted, is just crumbling from underneath them. And Spectre going for a Sange. Interesting choice. He's gonna go for an S and Y. Huh. This is not something you see on Spectre. As Spectre has a bit of slow, has really good chasing potential, and builds towards tanky items like Heart and other items of that nature. Don't really see S and Y, even though it does give her a lot of good attributes. But 34-minute S and Y is definitely not too common. I'm not too sure why he decided to go for it. Maybe he wanted to save inventory slots and didn't really feel the need to go for Manta. Maybe want a bit of extra HP, but he's just not been dying these fights regardless of the HP factor. He could potentially split this S&Y into a Manta into Halberd later, as KSI, in a world of hurt, gonna get hexed up as Dendi's finished the hex, and Funk just gonna fly overhead. Oh my god, poor KSI. He popped the hex in response, but that just allowed Funnick to pick up the kill rather than Dendi. And now Funnick working his way towards his next big item. Dendi We'll see what he goes for, whether it be 4-staff Yules. But he will most likely be the sole gem carrier. He's going to pick up a Ghost Scepter, even though there's a Diffusal Blade, but still. This will just allow him to juke relentlessly. And pretty much all Virtus.Pro's damage outside of NS is physical. So Ghost Scepter is definitely going to be a very, very solid option in this situation. And you can see Lina already with the Ghost Scepter, gonna maybe go for a BKB, could potentially go for an Aghanims, as Savos could potentially be in a lot of trouble. Here comes the net going down. There comes a Stack Storm as well, but do they actually have enough damage to kill off Savos? Song of Siren gonna be forced, as Disruptor was actually killed off solely by the Haunt damage, and with that, Virtus.Pro just like, screw this, we're going home. Oh my god, poor NS just cannot catch a break. He is 1-9-10, and no indications that this will go anywhere but down for this Disruptor. And Naga actually going to charge in once again on Avos, wants to get the net off, but he's going to be in a lot of trouble. He has no more mana, and Funnick will get the lasso. Not too sure what Illidan was thinking, but Naga Siren will lose her life as a result, and Virtus.Pro bears repeating. They're just losing a lot of momentum. ars-art is going to be the next one to fall, perhaps, as Dendy going to go in. Oh, nice preemptive juke, but Funnick comes in with a battery flame break just to put a damper on any hopes of Vengeful Spirit escaping. Templar Assassin gonna go back into the Yasha, as KSI looking to secure a kill on Puppey. Little does he know, Puppey actually has 1450 HP and KSI is gonna get killed off. This is just looking worse and worse by the moment for Virtus.Pro. At the very least, they were able to get a tower, but can they defend their top tower? That remains to be seen. Glimpse not going to be enough. Host just says thanks for the free ride back to the tower, but Host could be in a lot of trouble. He's going to get caught out, and he's beyond godlike. This will give up 1k gold. Who will get the last hit? It's going to be KSI. He's going to earn himself 1,000 extra gold because of that beyond godlike streak, but now Templar Assassin gonna get snagged by the lasso. Dendy gonna come in with the silence, gonna apply as much damage as possible. He does secure the kill, and KSI gonna find himself hexed up. So as soon as he got the gold, he is gonna lose it, or lose half of it. So poor guy couldn't even expend all his money. Illidan gonna teleport himself in, does not even have the song. They will secure a kill on Kuroki at the very least. Navi definitely overstaying their welcome. KSI, he already used the buyback, so he can't buy back to pursue down Dendy, and Dendy will be happily making his retreat away from the battlefield. As Crystal Main picking up an Ogre Club, and this Crystal Main is so tanky, if she switches her treads to strength, she will just have way too much damage. Or way too much HP rather. Strength treads will give her something like maybe 1650 HP, something close to that. Looks like she's going to go for BKB, and she's going to have that finished, and that's going to force a swap or a net to be focused solely on the Crystal Main, because Dreamhack in conjunction with Crystal Main Ultimate means those explosions will hit, and they will do a lot. And nobody inside of Virtus.Pro has finished the BKB other than the Templar Assassin. So man, this Crystal Main Ultimate could potentially do a lot of work in a team fight. But there is a net, there is a swap, there are a couple measures, but that is going to allow the heroes on side Navi to sort of, you know, go free without being encumbered by the burden of potentially getting swapped or getting netted. But still, despite all this, Virtus.Pro still have a tower advantage. They still have Nature Swap in the late game, which is going to be really, really annoying for Navi to combat. They don't really have a split pusher on the level of Nature Swap it. I mean, Havos can't defend pushes from Nature Swap by himself because he can haunt himself back into the team fight, but still, that's not something you want to rely on. As Funnick gonna Firefly overhead will get the Templar Assassin, dragging her with him, as there is Dendy gonna help secure the kill on Templar Assassin. They will get the silence. Templar Assassin forced to pop the BKB, looking to turn around, does manage to do a lot of damage on Funnick, but he's gonna pop the Ghost Scepter, gonna run away, instead gonna turn his attentions to Puppey, but Puppey will escape in the end. Meanwhile, Song and Siren will be used. Havos could be in a lot of trouble. Here comes Stack Storm, as well as Kinetic Field. A lot of damage being thrown at his way, but he's going to get burned to death by the rains as well as the Blade Mail. He will die! Oh my god, NS. They got the Spectre. But at what cost? It cost them NS. They're going to kill off Funnick, but here comes the Dendy. Surprise, motherfuckers, says Puck. The most appropriate surprise motherfucker hero in the game. Dendi could be in a lot of trouble, gonna get himself hexed up, dodges the stun, nicely done. Will look to escape past the Ghost Scepter. Diffusal Blade is online for Dendi. He's gonna orb out. He will get away safely. Meanwhile, Kuroki's gonna come in. Will get a kill on KSI. Nice recovery by Dendi as well as Kuroki. As BKB has been used by the Vengeful Spirit, they're looking to seal off Kuroki's death. They will successfully do just that, but Naga does not have enough mana to keep up with Dendi. So they managed to trade a nature swap for Arena. Very well worth it for Navi in the end. But still, the fact of the matter was that they lost to Vost. Means that Virtus.Pro are not yet out of it, even though it's looking very, very grim to say the least. Taking a look at the experience or the goal graph, it's relatively even, but the experience graph not as kind. 20k experience deficit is just absolutely immense. But that can largely be attributed to these top 3 heroes. Vost 25. I mean, 20k experience is still immense. But Virtus.Pro going to secure themselves yet another Roshan. We'll see who they give the Aegis to this time. Probably give the Aegis once again to Illidan, give the cheese to the TA. No, they're going to swap it. Mei realizing that TA is not using her mana as much as the Naga Siren, so they want to have the extra bit of mana in the teamfights for the cheese. Mana style has been fished up on the Templar Assassin Meal Disruptor. Oh man, his 50-minute mecha timing. It's looking very, very accurate. That smoke gonna delay his mechanism efforts. But still, you can see Vengeful Spirit pumping out a reasonable amount of damage for his support, and has that full range of swap, level 18 on Vengeful Spirit. When was the last time you saw this in a professional game? Other than, of course, Pavos carry Vengeful Spirit when Navi was just, you know, trolling around when they're dominant. But then again, those are the eras when there weren't many mid heroes whatsoever, so Vengeful Spirit could actually go mid. Meanwhile, I feel like KSI has just not been able to get any progression whatsoever. He's just been forced to constantly buy back and just look to keep up as much pressure on the map, try to help out his team. But you can see it's suffering, or he's suffering because of that. He is losing a lot of his item progress. Meanwhile, Havos actually goes back into a BKB. Interesting choice. This is not an item you see every day on Spectre, just because you want her to tank as much damage as possible because of dispersion. But in the last couple engagements, the only way Havos has died is because Static Storm really prevents her from haunting away. So now, the only thing that can hold him in place is going to be a net. And that's it. Spectre doesn't care about being swapped. She thrives on chaos. And Navi, ooh, their barracks are going to get assaulted all the while. Dendi, does he have enough for TP? No, he picked up a Vlad's instead. They're going to lose the bottom barracks. And this is going to open up the match so much for Virtus.Pro. Keep in mind, when Nature's Prophet does pick up a barracks, that means whenever there's a team fight happening, he can just teleport himself back, look to apply pressure on the buildings, and slowly but surely these tier 4 will get chipped down. So Navi making a huge mistake. Dendi being item swap capped out means that he's going to be SOL for a bit. He's going to pick up the Boots of Travel, but still a little too late, as he might be regretting picking up the Vlad so early on. Why did he even go for Vlad's? It's only for Havos pretty much, because not too many of Navi's other heroes do that much physical damage. I guess they want the bit of armor as well, which is going to be really, really useful up against the immense physical damage potential of Virtus.Pro. But still, wouldn't you want the Lena to pick up Vlad's? Instead, she went for Aghanims. Puck is a hero that does get item capped, and you can see Puck is always going to hold on to the gem just because he will most likely survive the majority of the engagements. But he's getting dangerously close to being item capped out. These are 4 of his items, and I don't imagine he's going to sell his Ghost Scepter. I think he's going to upgrade into an E-Blade. And so, I don't know, in the end, if he might have to sell the Vlads or something like that, if he wants to, you know, get an extra item slot. KSI gonna hex Havost. We'll get the Stack Storm, but the BKB will be used by Havost. Not yet using it. Actually, he's gonna buy back and haunt himself back in. That's why he didn't use the BKB. Dreamhack gonna catch a majority of Virtus.Pro's heroes. Immediately, NS is killed off by Havost, and Spectre with the BKB being used does not care about sleep. Does kill off Illidan successfully. ars-art will be on the retreat, but is gonna get himself killed off as well. 71 kills in 44 minutes. This is Russian Dota, ladies and gentlemen. Well, Navi is not really Russian. They have a couple of Ukrainian members, one Estonian, a German, and a Russian. I wonder what language Navi communicates in, because I don't know if Phonics English is necessarily that good. And I don't think Kuroki speaks Russian. I've got to imagine if they speak in English when they communicate. But yeah, Navi and Virtus.Pro, definitely two of the hottest teams. Definitely can be argued two of the top 5 Western teams. Maybe even two of the top 3 teams, along with Alliance in the Western scene. Because Virtus.Pro has just been on an absolute tear recently. But Navi, so far, just been performing out of their minds as of late, really adapting to this new patch, playing really, really aggressively or really, really defensively. And Dandy probably really happy with the ball crow changes. I think he's much more happy with the new mid lane changes. Because he's like, hey, I get pulled regardless of the situation. Who needs a fast bottle? And who needs to constantly bottle crow when I just get pulled by Puppy every day of the week? And outside that, Denny, of course, is a remarkable mid lane player. Even if he didn't get pulled out of regeneration, he'd still win the vast majority of his matchups. But here comes an engagement. Dagger will be cast on Templar Assassin as Denny is looking for the approach, has a double edge, and here comes the Light Strike Ray, gonna hold KSI in place. Dreamhack being used on NS, Summer Siren being used just a split second too late. And it's already gonna cost Virtus.Pro a couple of their heroes. Looks like it was just one hero in the end. Only NS died for what seems like the billionth time as Sabo's gonna charge in bravely. ars-art swapping Illidan to safety. But still, Virtus.Pro looking in a very, very uncomfortable position. Navi threatening to go in on their bottom barracks. And here comes the net by Nagasarn onto Puppy. As Crystalman still has ultimate, Spectre is going to haunt in, going to probably go for KSI. KSI could be much trouble, actually haunts in for Illidan, but you can see without the heart, Spectre just does not have as much HP to work around with, and is going to just BKB her way out to safety, but she's going to get netted up. She could be in a lot of trouble. Puppy going to stand in front of his friend, will channel the ultimate, but just gets assaulted by TA. Illidan going to be in a lot of trouble. One more hit will be the end of him. No, the Hex means that Illidan will just barely escape, lives on 20 HP. Meanwhile, Dendy is going to live on 20 HP as well. KSI going to teleport himself into just the wrong place at just the wrong time. Two heroes escaping on a sliver of HP. Man, this game is crazy. And Kuroki picks up Invisibility and has the Aghanim Scepter. And the best reason to pick up Aghanim Scepter on Lina is not just for the damage, which is immense, 1200 damage, more so the increased range. 900 range on an Aghanim Scepter buff. I think the normal range is like 700 or 650. So 900 range is pretty much the range of an Aghanim Scepter Beastmaster Roar. And I can pretty much see from one cliff to the other in the middle lane. Meanwhile, Virtus.Pro, recognizing that Vost has died, knowing that he doesn't have biox since he just fought back and haunted into the last team fight, they're gonna pick off the middle tower, so Virtus.Pro showing they still have a lot of bite left in them. Never give a team like Virtus.Pro an inch to breathe. They definitely are smart enough and common enough to make you regret it. But Flamebreak and Denny just constantly pressuring Virtus.Pro back. The glyph is going to be expanded. Will Virtus.Pro continue as the swap goes in for the Barret? They will be able to kill off the Barret, but they are going to lose ars-art in the process. Can they even kill the Barret? No, it doesn't look like they can. The Dreamhack just restricting Virtus.Pro by an immense amount. Summer Siren a bit too late. Illidan does get hard. Beautiful defense by Navi, 4v5. And looks like they are wanting more. I think they were trying to hunt down KSI. KSI jukes in a completely different direction. Instead, Templar Assassin could be in a lot of trouble, is going to pop the BKB and just look to get the heck out of there. It's already a 4-second BKB charge. So, that was very much worth it. But still, Virtus.Pro, a lot of the momentum has gone downhill. You can see the progression. Nagasarn only picked up a heart, and you can see her damage potential is just not there whatsoever. And the thing about Nagasarn is that her illusions are actually not that powerful. Only 45%. They have such a long cooldown. Means that you can't really spam them, so they don't really give you that much damage increase in the fight. I mean, they give you enough, but up against the AoE of Navi means that they're gonna die very, very quickly, even with the Heart of Tarrasque up on the Nagasarn. You know, Puppy's saving up a lot of gold. Is it gonna go into a Crystal Main Aghanim Scepter? I think this is gonna be a choice for Puppy. That ultimate damage, oh my god, 300 damage per explosion, or per second. Meanwhile, NS. Oh my god, NS. You were my choice. You were my chosen one in the compendium picks for favorite player. and this is how you repay me. 115. I mean, I guess it's not Milk status, but then again, Milk's team did win the game. And even though Virtus.Pro are upper X, it's not looking good for our Russian friends. And we all have Host, you know, showing the power of Spectre. He can just teleport and constantly defend his towers, and a bit surprised he hasn't picked up Boots of Travel just yet. But still, Phase Boots is going to be very useful, especially since he sold the drums. And he can just constantly defend against Nature's Prophet split pushes better than most carries because he can just haunt himself back into a team fight whenever it does break out. Taking a look at the goal graph, slightly in favor of Navi. Experience graph, I'd say it's slightly in favor of Navi as well. That might be an underestimation, just a bit of an underestimation. As go is the call, but I'm going to take a little bit of this time to take a drink because my voice is actually getting a bit sore. Alright, I'm back, and meanwhile Navi's back in black. They are gonna go in, and we're just waiting for Virtus.Pro to charge up the high ground. The Crystal Maiden ultimate, what an ability, just completely decimating Virtus.Pro. Oh man. And as he's just hunted down left and right, Illidan's gonna buy back, but they're gonna lose ars-art as well. KSI is the only sole survivor, as TA is gonna buy back. They want to desperately defend the middle lane, but the creepy Glyph is just not in favor of Navi. Meanwhile, KSI, will he teleport to a different lane and start the push? He's gonna fake the teleport. I was like, is he really gonna teleport there? No, he's not gonna be that foolhardy. Meanwhile, Dendy with an E-Blade puck, let's go. I think the next choice is Dagon. I think Dendy will go for Dagon. And Virtus.Pro, they really can't afford to give up the Aegis. If they give up the Aegis, I mean, they pretty much lose all hope. As Spectre with an Aegis is just going to be incredibly difficult to bring down, but Virtus.Pro really can't contest this. And Navi will pick themselves up an Aegis for the most. Cheese is going to be picked up by the Crystal Main. Obviously wants to use it to cast as many ultimates as possible. I mean, 90-second cooldown. Why not? And if she is saving it for an Aghanim, she will have it in about 16 gold. Meanwhile, KSI does have a finished Daedalus, but his damage output is just not going to be enough by himself, especially with the abundance of Ghost Scepters on side Navi. Shiva's guard has been finished by the Barret. Lina picked up her own E-Blade, so she has E-Blade into the Laguna Blade. Oh my god. Oh my god, that is so much magical damage. That can pretty much one-shot Disruptor. Not that you need to one-shot the Disruptor, as, I mean, he doesn't even have a 50-minute mech yet. Life is hard for an NS fan. I'm feeling him. I'm feeling for him. You know, TA just not been able to get any item progression going. She's just really not been able to put up DPS. The refraction gets immediately melted by the immense amount of damage being thrown out by Navi. And the damage potential that TA does is just not really impressive. Ghost Scepters mitigate a lot of the damage to supports, and Spectre is so tanky that she can really withstand it, and she can just pop the Blade Mail and go to work. She's going to pick up a Butterfly rather than going for a Heart. And I guess this is the right choice. Because, I mean, again, the majority of Virtus.Pro's physical damage is physical, and nobody outside of Virtus.Pro have any indications of going for an MKB. But still, I think, you know, Heart for prolonged sieges could be very useful. But Navi not really sieging, so that physical damage being negated is just going to be of the utmost importance for Havost. So in the end, the evasion, the attack speed, the damage, and of course the armor that Butterfly gives you is just going to be a bit too valuable to pass up. So in retrospect, yes, this is a really, really smart item decision by Havost. Meow. NS getting close to that mechanism mark. Only 15 seconds. All we're waiting for is Sony from Navi to teleport on the map and just look to kill off NS. If NS, I don't know. If that happened, I think I would rage quit if I was in NS shoes. You could see he was just frantically spamming that mechanism buy button. He had it on his hotbar. He heard the gold sound clink into place, and he just spammed it as if his life depended on it. Yellow Scepter picked up by the barriers, so now, if it was possible, he's even more difficult to bring down. Puppy with an Aghanim Scepter. Dandy still rolling to the west, still holding on to a lot of gold, as Navi going to make their move to push down the middle lane of barracks. I'm not too sure if Virtus.Pro can fight this. Do they even have enough for buyback? Only Furion, as Naga won't have enough time for buyback, neither will the Templar Assassin. Instead, Virtus.Pro looking to perhaps take a Rax trade, or at the very least trying to claim a tier 3 tower of their own. And Navi, I don't think they're in any hurry. They can perhaps defend the bottom lane, or defend the top lane, but still, you don't want to give a team with Nature's Prophet too much time, otherwise he could potentially punish you. And you can see Navi starting to lose a lot of their buildings on the bottom lane, even though Havos is constantly pushing it back. But Dire did use their glyph without Navi devoting too many resources, so that's a small victory for Navi, as they're going to summon some treants. Havos is going to clear this up on the top lane, and then haunt himself to the middle lane if there's a fight breaking out. As actually Barrett baited out a TP, cancels a bit of travel, so that's going to be a bit annoying. Barrett dies, he won't be able to buy back and get himself back in the fight, but he doesn't have enough money for buyback regardless. Checking out the net worth. Crystal Maiden, doubling up NS and some. Farming Crystal Maiden, the best Crystal Maiden. All she needs is a Desolator, and she's got this. Meanwhile, KSI just saying, don't find me, hide and seek, but hopefully you won't seek me out, because I do not want to be hunted down. And Puppy, I think smartly, not maxing Aura. Just getting a multitude of points in stats. I mean, she has 21 HP. She has more HP than everybody on the side of Virtus.Pro minus the Nagasarn, and I guess the TA, but she has a BKB. But then again, the CM has a BKB. Oh my god, Lina, 1800 HP, Evilite Aghanims. Navi have finally pushed out the creeps waves to such an extent that once Havos does clear up this bottom wave, Navi can look to push it and get themselves a middle barracks. The Aegis is going to expire relatively soon. It's going to expire in 1 minute, so that's going to be a bit annoying for Havos because Boots of Travel are currently on cooldown, but instead Navi going to smoke up, perhaps look for a wraparound gank onto NS. They're just like, oh, NS is around, let's kill him, guys. We'll just make his life a miserable living hell. Dendy, oh! Oh my god. Barrett does pick up another kill on NS. And unfortunately for NS, he's so high level that he's going to be out of commission for a long while. And pretty much all NS does is drop Static Storm in these fights. That's pretty much all he can do. And KSI just pushing out the top lane. Nature's Prophet, what a fun hero to play against. What a guy. And the game's never over when you have a Nature's Prophet on your side. You know, at this point, it might be... Well, I guess even if he does get a Necrobook, he won't have enough damage to backdoor. Meanwhile, Dendy just going to work. That attack speed being granted to him by the E-Blade, just allowing him to hit the buildings a lot faster. It looks like Navi not really finding a correct opening to push because Nature's Prophet is just constantly pushing the creepy Eclipse top, and once Havos teleports himself back there, then Nature's Prophet is going to teleport himself bottom and push out that wave, and the creeps push faster because they're bigger creeps. And the dance will continue, but Phonic might have something to say about that. He doesn't have any detection though, so I don't think he'll be able to kill off KSI. So the Aegis is going to time out without anything happening. And is there an item on the courier? I feel like Havos has not bought anything in a while. And the question is, what will he go for now? Heart, I think, is probably the likely choice. But still, I mean, I wouldn't have predicted late Radiance into S and Y. So, Havos has been leaving us guessing onto what exactly he will do. And does anybody else get this Dota bug? My mouse cursor just bugs out. It's really annoying when you're playing Dota because Nick's actually pretty difficult. Because actually sometimes the lines are thinner than this. This is actually pretty reasonable. But like sometimes the lines are so thin you can't actually see the cursor on your screen. And it makes it really difficult to click on shit. Meanwhile, KSI finally played with death a moment too long. He is going to die. He should have enough for buyback, as all the while Spectre going to get assaulted on the top lane. He could be in trouble, glimpse it back into the Stackstorm kinetic field. He's going to pop the BKB, he's going to run on out of there. But the swap going to say no to that, as the TA trap's not going to be enough. Havos just way too fast. KSI going to buy back, going to get the Hex up, gets one crit. They might be able to kill off Havos, but they're going to have to expend every single resource just to do the swap. He's going to immediately buy back and teleport himself to the middle lane. He already uses Haunt, so that's going to be a bit annoying, but actually he's going to push out. No, he is going to teleport himself right back to the middle lane, and he knows that VP did expend a lot of resources in that engagement, and I don't know if VP have enough, I guess, in them to defend the middle barracks. And even though NS is only good for Stackstorm, the Stackstorm is going to be very important in defense, and that's why I don't think Virtus.Pro are really too eager to defend this with their lives. Instead, you see KSI staying on the top lane, but here comes Dandy spying NS. He wants blood, he will get it. Havos going to find himself hexed up. He will be in a lot of trouble. If he dies, that will be a huge opening for Virtus.Pro. Now he's going to BK, or Puppy going to BK, but he's going to get immediately canceling the freezing field, as Dandy once again throwing out so much damage. Templar Assassin does get Puppy in the retreat, and all the while KSI and the Virtus.Pro forces working on the tier 4 towers. This tier 4 is still at full HP, but now there aren't any more buildings outside of this one lonely building, not even a moonwell. And Virtus.Pro somehow miraculously managed to defend their barracks without a static storm. Nagasiren has actually made an item choice, or item progression, has picked up the Manta style. And Virtus.Pro, I mean, it's still looking extraordinarily grim, but they're still in the game. Experience craft 30k deficit, oh man. Looks like Dendy was just able to escape. It's so difficult killing a Puck in the late stages of the game once he's item capped out. And Puck holding on to 6.4k gold, oh my god. He's gotta be waiting for a Dagon, right? Yeah, he is gonna sell the Vlads, he sold it, so he's gonna buy a Dagon. He almost finished the full-on freaking Dagon level 5. And this just shows the balls Dendy has. He says, fuck buyback. You know what, I think he's gonna buy a Dagon 5 before he saves for buyback. He's just like, well, I'm never gonna die in this game again, and I can't really say I blame him. I mean, he's only died once, and that was like 50 minutes ago on this bottom lane skirmish. But Virtus.Pro gonna take this opportunity to get themselves a Roshan, and I do expect Naga and TA to once again pick it up. Actually, yep, TA is gonna pick up the Cheese, Nagasiren picks up the Aegis, and even though they don't have enough damage to really one-shot the Spectre in a sustained team fight, they do have the potential to do a lot of damage. And KSI just gonna go back to his farming ways, gonna look to secure himself buyback. It's gonna be on cooldown for the next 3 minutes as Dagon 5 has been finished, and Dendy doesn't have buyback. So if Dendy dies and Avos dies, Navi could be in a little bit of a sticky situation, but again, that's a big if. I really doubt that they'll actually die. So Vlad's not being rebought just yet. BKB, well, I mean, that's been fished on CM for a while. Kuroki, no item progression, gonna eventually save for X. We'll see. I guess she's saving up for a buyback rather than going for the straight up Hex, because she would have had it by now. Actually, she would have had it in the 100 gold, so scratch that. Avost gonna go for the heart finally. I'm not too sure why she still has S and Y. I guess she'll probably disassemble the S and Y and get Meta in the end. And Avost gonna finish the heart, but look at Virtus.Pro. They're gonna go in for bottom lane. They know Havos is just gonna be pushing out the spawn lane to suspect this. And the dagger, I think it does, yeah, it does give you vision, but the swap's so long range now. They're gonna go in for Havos. Havos doesn't have buyback. He already used the haunt, and he spent all his gold on the Heart of Tarask. And that is gonna force an immediate stop to the push by Navi. And Virtus.Pro have the cheese as well as Aegis. He just one-shots NS, mauls him in the face. Templar Assassin gonna die. She can't get off the cheese as... Where is everybody? Dendy actually got destroyed. How did Dendy get killed? Navi are losing the majority of their DPS heroes. As you can see, Virtus.Pro going in. But Crystal Main soloing a Naga with an Aegis. Oh my god. That ultimate just going to work. And that Naga at heart as well as a Manta style and drums 3.1k HP. Gonna pop the sleep but doesn't have TP to get herself out of trouble. And Nagasaki just gonna have to run away, but Barrier will hunt her down. We'll have that lasso going down, gonna pop the Yules. And Kuroki, now it looks like Navi just gonna forget about it for now. Templar Assassin actually gonna buy back. I'm not too sure, I'm pretty sure KSI didn't buy back. Yes, it's still on cooldown for the next minute. And Lena gonna pick up the side device, recognizing that could be very, very slow in this defense. Timod really needs to pop the cheese, but he's just being disabled relentlessly. That 4-second BKB, just such a huge nerf to the heroes who pick up early game BKBs like the TA. One lasso, that's gonna be the end of her. She didn't even have a chance to pop the cheese. KSI will get himself hexed up, Net gonna fly in, and Spectre will respawn relatively soon. Looks like Navi are gonna somehow defend the middle barracks. KSI forced to pop the BK, will be able to run on out of there. And Navi, in the end, all they lost was a tier 3. And they're gonna kill off Illidan. He has enough for a buyback, but still, I don't know if Virtus.Pro has what it takes to get themselves out of this terrible situation for the umpteenth time. Nagasaki will be able to regenerate a lot of her HP from the heart. But still, I think she is going to be in danger. She is going to have to die. Barrier Blink is coming up, but NS glimpses Barrier back, and NS. Oh, puppy. Please. Please, have mercy. Be merciful. Oh my god, almost. The spite haunt. And KSI somehow dies. He has the buyback cooldown, but he doesn't have buyback, and this might be the beginning of the end for Virtus.Pro. As I think Navi will actually be able to kill off a Virtus.Pro set of barracks. Might even be able to get multiple sets of barracks. All they have to do is deal with the Nagasaki and Templar Assassin, who are very easy to deal with by themselves. Nature's Prophet is really the only DPS here on the side of Virtus.Pro at this stage. Naga just does not do that much damage. But Illidan trying to do whatever he can. Gonna be forced to pop to sleep. He's already bought back. He really does not want to have to die again. At the very least, Timod will respond with the cheese, but they don't have the split push going in because of the Nature's Prophet not having enough for buyback. Instead, decide to buy that MKB, and that might be the decision that ultimately cost Virtus.Pro multiple sets of barracks. You know, Denny just mauls that illusion with the E-Blade one shot. And Navi gonna rotate in for the top lane of barracks. Looks like Havos Ally is not too keen on following him just yet. Puppy, a bit low in terms of HP, but still. Below half HP, Crystal Main is still 1300 HP at this stage of the game. Level 23, oh my god. Let's take a look at the levels, guys. Almost everybody is level 20 except for NS. He doesn't even have his level 3 ultimate. Havos gonna find himself netted up. Medallion going to go to work. Here comes the lasso onto Tamoao. They're once again gonna slaughter him before he can pop the cheese. Will he actually die? No, NS is gonna die. What am I saying? Of course NS will die. Meanwhile, Tamoao still has the cheese, but still the Dreamhack and his BKB not being up means that he's gonna be limited in what he can actually do. But KSI is going to respawn, and one of the tier 4 towers has died for Navi. So Navi going to have to be very, very careful on how they play this. They really need to kill off KSI. If KSI dies here, that could be the end. Laguna Blade, in conjunction with the E-Blade, going to melt down KSI. And I think that will be the beginning of the end, at the very least, for Virtus.Pro in this game. And yes, the chase is going on. Shiva is going to be used. Templar Assassin is going to be killed off. And that cheese has been sitting in an inventory for the past 10 years. And Havos has Haunt. She'll be able to defend this push. And I think Virtus.Pro are going to probably call GG very, very soon. But man, a hell of a game. 102 kills thus far. With potential for more. This game's not yet over. Mega Creeps are going to be picked up relatively soon. Denny just staggening creeps and illusions. Whoever that Puck sees, Puck is just a merciless killer. Oh my god. I bet Puck wish he didn't dag in the creep. I'm sure he wanted to be the one to kill NS in the end. And looks like these tier 3 tower will finally die. Illidan's the only one there. He's gonna pop to sleep again. It looks like Funnick gonna be potentially not in danger. Nice Riptide. It does not manage to clutch Funnick. He does have the dagger, but it looks like he's not using it just yet. He's gonna instead use the lasso. Bo's gonna get himself in. They're gonna go in for Illidan. Illidan will die. Illidan does not have enough for a buyback. Or he does, but actually Havos could be in a lot of trouble. Nope, Naga's gonna die. She's gonna buy back. And ars-art gonna retreat, gonna swap in Illidan. Virtus.Pro, exemplifying the attitude of never give up, never surrender.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
But we'll see. Looks like Navi, they cleared out the middle creeps. I mean, there are no more tier 4 towers if KSI responds. Keep in mind the Ancient no longer has backdoor regeneration. That was finally patched. So if he teleports in, he has enough money for... I mean, I guess he doesn't have enough money if he dies for buyback. No, he has enough reliable gold for buyback. So he can push in, he can sacrifice his life a couple times and then go to work. But I don't know if Virtus.Pro grouping up to push is the best idea. But I guess they don't have a choice. Barrett finishes an AC. Oh my god. I've never seen this happen in a game. I'm a bit concerned why they don't have the level adds up. Crystal Main's making way to the E-Blade. Savo's gonna find himself hexed up, but here comes last one onto Tamwad. NS gonna die before he can do anything besides cast Connect Field. Looks like Illidan does manage to get Savo's. Savo's gonna buy back, gonna teleport himself back into the fight as Virtus.Pro just looking to escape on out of there, gonna try to defend their lanes. They will be able to do that, but now Navi, with the full HP of Os, gonna find themselves back into the thick of things. They're gonna look to end the game right here, right now. And I'm not too sure why KSI is just not backdooring and looking to do chip damage, or maybe use a glyph. Maybe he's too honorable, but I don't know, play to win. But Spectre gonna kill off the tier 3, Net gonna go in. If they kill Avos, that will give an opening because he doesn't have buyback. Avos just so tanky, they're gonna kill off the Venture Spray. Illidan gonna be a lot of trouble. The freezing field just once again melting everybody, or I suppose freezing everybody. GG, well played is finally called, as this game ends with 114 kills in 71 minutes. I mean, talk about a bloodbath. 115 kills in 71 minutes. Oh man. Really good fight by Virtus.Pro, but in the end, I think what cost them was their push on the bottom lane, where Spectre just got a triple kill, a haunt, and just really spiraled out of control. But MVPs for Navi, definitely Dendi as well as Funning. They got so many really strong initiations that they just really never let Virtus.Pro get comfortable after the 20-minute mark. So really well played game by Navi in the end. Solidly played by Virtus.Pro. They definitely made some mistakes, but overall a really exciting game. And it's 1 in 24. My god. Hopefully you enjoy this game. Cast it a second time. Hopefully the volume's all fixed. Hopefully there's no lag. If it is, I'm gonna probably kill myself. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.